So we've just heard in the last few hours that when the current national lockdown restrictions come to an end on the 2nd of December, Rotherham, like the rest of South Yorkshire and indeed much of the rest of the north of England, will return to Tier 3 restrictions. That's a reflection of the fact that we are still an area of very high risk of infection of coronavirus. And that means that we will continue to be subject to additional restrictions. Sadly, despite all the progress that we've made over the last few weeks, and the infection rate has fallen and is falling, it's still too high. We are still sadly in a situation where Rotherham Hospital has more than 140 COVID inpatients, and that's still about twice as many as they had at the peak of the first wave. And the government, in its rationale today, points out that we have continued to see a fairly high rate of more older people, more elderly people experiencing the virus. And of course, we know that those are the people most likely to suffer the most serious health consequences. So I know that for a lot of people, today's news will be really bad news. I know that with the announcement about vaccines and in the run-up to Christmas, we were all hoping that we could be in the clear by this stage. Sadly, that hasn't been the case, although in some ways it's also perhaps not too much of a surprise. The government will review those restrictions on a fortnightly basis, I think from the 16th of December, and then every couple of weeks from then on. So my message today really is to urge everyone to keep doing the right things, keep following those rules, stay the pace, and we'll come through this together in the way that we said we would. It does feel that if we relax too much now, we will lose the good progress that's been made over the course of the last few weeks. Now, we know for a lot of businesses this is really serious news, and I'd urge any business affected to check our website. There is grant funding available there. For a lot of businesses who receive funding through the first wave, they will already be getting additional support now. And we are looking over the coming days and weeks at what more we can do to support particularly small and micro enterprises. And we're also looking at what more we can do into December and over the festive period to support families whose incomes have been particularly badly affected. So our hearts go out to those people in that situation, and we're going to try and do everything that we can. We're also making representations to the government. You might remember that we were given £30 million across South Yorkshire for business support when we went into Tier 3. When we come out of it, we will have been there a week longer than most of the rest of the country. And of course, we don't know how long we will remain in Tier 3. At the moment, the government are saying that that money, that £30 million, needs to last us till the end of March. It clearly isn't enough now, and it is unfair on South Yorkshire businesses that they will not receive an equivalent level of funding that many other parts of the country will receive. So that's the case that we're going to make to government. We want to bring in more support. We want to make sure that our great businesses are reopening as soon as they can. And most importantly, we want to make sure that people are safe. We want all our families to be getting through this Christmas and to be seeing in next year. So from me to all of you, thank you for all that you've done. It's been an amazing, a sterling effort so far. We are moving in the right direction. And with vaccines coming through, there is hope on the horizon, but we can't afford to let it slip now. We'll speak soon. Thank you.